Michael Behe, Associate Professor of Biochemistry at Lehigh University, championed the concept of irreducible complexity in his landmark book, Darwin's Black Box, The Biochemical Challenge to Evolution. This concept basically states too many small parts were necessary in the very beginning for a cell to be the product of evolutionary chance. As B.J. Ranganathan explained, the cell needs all its basic parts within their various functions for survival. Therefore, if the cell had evolved, it would have meant billions of parts would have come into existence at the same time, in the same place, and then simultaneously come together in a precise order. If even one microscopic part was removed or unordered, then the first organism would have collapsed before life even started. The simultaneous ordering of several billion tiny parts in a single cell is inconceivable without the existence of an intelligent organizer. A chaotic primeval explosion literally originating from nothing and nowhere is surely incapable of creating and properly integrating life's intricate machinery. Photosynthesis is one of many essential irreducibly complex systems which could not have slowly evolved, since each of the 17 enzymes required to assemble chlorophyll must have been collectively present in the very beginning, or primordial photosynthetic cells would have all been destroyed by the untreated toxic byproducts of unchecked chemical reactions. The chance that all 17 enzymes evolved and simultaneously combined within a hypothetical primitive soup of dead chemicals is way beyond statistical probability and reason. As Darwin admitted, if it could be demonstrated that any complex organism existed which could not possibly have been formed by numerous successive slight modifications, my theory would absolutely break down. Indeed, according to Behe, we now know biology is full of incredibly elaborate, irreducibly complex machines. If you are beginning to suspect that Darwinism has no compelling explanation for them, you're right. Aside from vague hypotheses that have more speculation than hard fact, evolutionists have no idea how such machines could have come about by the unguided forces of nature. For evolutionists, the problems of irreducible complexity become even more profound when we consider the relationships between proteins, DNA, and RNA, which are three of the most vital parts that would have been needed in the first cell and require the prior presence of each other to exist. Proteins are formed by DNA and RNA. DNA is formed by RNA and proteins, while RNA is formed by DNA and proteins. Due to this fact, some evolutionary biologists have now conceded it is impossible for any of these to have arisen by chance in a primordial soup. Since one cannot arise without the pre-existence of the others, it is sensible to conclude a creator was required to make each of these subcellular parts. The DNA-RNA-protein complex offers strong evidence for the creator's existence and is the ultimate catch-22 chicken or the egg problem for evolutionists. Without a creator, neither DNA, RNA, proteins, nor any living creature would exist. The presence of DNA, RNA, and protein-built creatures like us absolutely requires a creative act by an intelligent creator. Evolutionists Sir Frederick Hoyle and Chandra Wickramasinghe reached similar conclusions during independent experiments designed to mathematically analyze the probability life could have resulted from time, chance, and the properties of matter. After completing their research, they compared this probability to the chance that a tornado swirling through a junkyard could randomly create a Boeing 747. A Boeing 747 contains approximately 4.5 million non-flying parts which combine to produce flight. A human cell is far more complex and advanced than an airplane, containing at least billions of parts which must be perfectly coordinated to produce and maintain life, so the improbabilities are actually much greater than described by these scientists. Following their experiments, Hoyle and Wickramasinghe recognized the necessity of God's existence. Their research offers powerful positive proof for the reality of an intelligent designer. The statistical impossibility of life arising from a theoretical primordial soup of dead elements is an insurmountable problem for evolutionists, even if all the necessary ingredients were present and several billion years are allowed. But their situation thoroughly defies logic when we add the claim that this unorganized material sprang from a chaotic primeval explosion which admittedly came from nothing and nowhere. In desperation, evolutionists have seriously suggested the infant Earth was bombarded with life ingredients derived from cosmic snowballs or the spaceships of aliens that evolved on an unknown planet within one of multiple universes in the ageless past. Evolutionary cosmologists who invoke the multiverse theory believe our universe is only one of the bubbles that arose from the fluctuation of primeval quantum foam. The multiverse concept actually makes the evolutionary development of life on our planet even more unlikely, since numerous universes, in addition to our own, must have spontaneously appeared from literally nothing. Noted atheists Carl Sagan and Francis Crick, while attempting to build the case for extraterrestrial engineering of human life on Earth, estimated the chance of this actually happening is a minuscule 1 in 10 to the 2 billionth power, which is far beyond statistical impossibility. Carl Sagan, who is well known for his dogmatic declaration, "The cosmos is all that is, or ever was, or ever will be," acknowledged prior to his death in correspondence with Institute for Creation Research scientist Larry Vardaman that his view of origins required the laws of physics to create the cosmos, but he admittedly could not explain the origin of the laws themselves. Evolutionists have clearly grasped at straws in their attempt to explain the origin of earthly life. While intelligent evolutionists such as Richard Dawkins have declared rejectors of evolutionary theory are ignorant, stupid, or insane, it actually is unreasonable and unscientific to believe this incredibly complex and intricately ordered world is a product of lifeless, non-intelligent matter that emerged by pure chance from literally nothing and nowhere. By the way, emotional appeals such as the one offered by Dawkins are a clear sign of intellectual desperation by those who have no solid evidence for their position. One whose stand is supported by the facts does not need to launch such baseless verbal attacks. It seems clear the acceptance of evolutionary theory is faith-based, since no real proof exists to support this position. While we as Christians also place faith in God, our case is far more reasonable since substantial evidence is on our side. For example, molecular biology, a discipline which studies the microscopic marvels of life-related material, has led to amazing discoveries concerning the structure and function of cellular parts. With modern electron microscopes, X-ray crystallography, and nuclear magnetic resonance imaging technology, scientists have been able to probe the wonders of life deeper than ever before, and their findings are truly stunning. Each new cellular and subcellular level observation creates another irreducibly complex hurdle that evolutionists are unable to overcome or dismiss. The incredible biological designs constantly uncovered by scientists point even more persuasively toward the existence of a supremely intelligent designer who has orchestrated the symphony of life.